Hi, I wanted to touch on a few issues, a few questions that you guys continue to have about the expectations of the course. First, this week ends July the 2nd, and Chapter 6 worksheet is due. Remember that make sure that you look at the number of percentages of each assignment and how much each are weighted. I want you to keep in mind that blogs and external links count for more of your grade than do individual chapter worksheets. So while all of you are getting the chapter worksheets done, some of you are forgetting about the blogs and the external links. If you don't do them, they count for a higher percentage of your grade, or it makes your grade go down a little bit more than missing a chapter worksheet. So even if you don't do them at the time that they're due, make sure that you get them in. I at least try to keep the external link assignment and the blog links open for a few days after the due date, so that if you forgot, you have the chance to turn them in. Also remember that I want you to submit them in the submission link in the course. If you email them, I forget about them, and also it's submitted wrong. So while you may get credit for it, you will be deducted points. So keep that in mind. This week, as I said, ends July the 2nd, and for the Independence Day holiday, we get the 3rd and the 4th. So I don't have anything due on the 4th. However, if you notice, Chapter 6 worksheet will stay open until the 4th of July. I don't expect for you to do work that day, and it's not due that day, but just in case you had plans, or just to give you a little bit of extra time, it'll be open until the 4th. About the research sources, I'm still looking at them, I'm still grading them. I gave you a little bit of feedback as to what I'm looking for. It's not that I want you to, it's not that I'm being a stickler about certain things, but I do want you to follow directions. So some of you have emailed me and told me that you've gone back and you've redone your sources, which is great. And I also got a question about whether or not you want to go ahead and get feedback before you do the summaries. The answer to that is yes. I want you to wait for my feedback before you give me summaries, just to make sure that your sources are correctly formatted. And most importantly, if I asked you to go back and change your sources, then I certainly don't want you to do a summary of those sources I wanted you to change. Also, make sure that when you submit your summaries, that your sources are still formatted in APA format. I made a little note about the fact that it's impossible for me to teach you APA. In order for me to show you how to do APA, what I would need to do is do exactly what it is I ask you to do. So I would be doing your work. How I learn APA, or how I do APA, is by looking at the example and then applying the information as I go. So just make sure that you look at the example that I give. And finally, I wanted to touch on the blog, or the external link assignment, the last external link assignment that had to do with the socialization process and the feral children. Many of you did the feral children, which is fine, and the socialization process. And the point of that external link and that assignment was to show how important human interaction is into becoming who we are as human beings. What I want you to learn from sociology, if you don't remember anything else, is that while we have the potential to do certain things, where we have the potential to learn, we have the potential to walk, we have the potential to speak, and all those things, we don't necessarily do them until we learn them. So while we have legs, we don't automatically learn to walk. And some of the cases of feral children, like Jeannie, the wild child, I don't know if you've ever heard of her, or the cases of Anna and Isabel, of children who were locked away and were found later on, and they couldn't speak, they couldn't smile, they couldn't laugh. They couldn't do anything that resembled a normal human being. That we learn those things. So that's the most important thing I want you to take away from that process. That there are no things that are natural or instinctive to a human being. except those things that are natural, instinctive to animals. All right. If you have any questions, as always, go ahead and email me. I'll try to answer you back within 48 hours. Again, this class goes very, very quickly. If you feel as if you will not be able to maintain the course, I encourage you to go ahead and withdraw from the course as soon as you can. Sometimes I'm not able to catch it if you have missed assignments. If you know that you're going to miss certain assignments like the external link or the blog or something like that, then I would encourage you to go ahead and withdraw, because you probably will end up getting an F. Again, class goes really quickly, so keep that in mind. But I hope that you will stay, and I hope that you will catch up if you've fallen a little bit behind, if you can. All right, so if you have communicate with me, I appreciate it, and try to enjoy the rest of your summer.